Methods in which the CIBIL also gives you a way to raise some issues with them, saying if you feel that it's reported incorrectly, where you notify CIBIL that this data is incorrectly reported by the lender. So in those kind of scenarios, what happens, the CIBIL in turn will recheck or verify that information with the lender. If what we claim is true, then that correction would be made.
Can you give an example in terms of misreporting? You have seen so many reports.
Correct.
Please, let's give viewers one example. Maybe we will dive in later in our later videos. But let's.
So in a lot of cases, what happens is bank have different. Not every bank reports at the end of the month, so they have different timelines in terms of reporting.
Every bank has different timelines.
Yes, they do it. They do it once in a.
Do they? How many? I mean, what is the frequency of reporting?
Could be 30 days. Could be 90 days. So between 9, yeah.
Oh, it can happen
so once in a quarter also.
Days.
It can happen once in a quarter also. And within this, what happens? There are a lot of challenges where they would have reported something incorrectly. Post that, you would have got it sorted, but that correction is not reported to the bank, reported to the credit bureau.
Like for example, internally with the business and bank, it's done,
but not reported to the credit bureau. So these are the things that actually, and from a credit bureau's perspective, they've calculated your rank based on the previous data that is existing.
Correct, exactly.
So that is where you need to be sure that if there is anything that is that you have actually sorted out with the bank, make sure that actually that is communicated to the credit bureau also.
So how a business can make sure, because bank is doing it, I think it's a technical system, no? The communication between bank and CIBIL?
Correct. It's a technical system. As I said, they have their own...
And how a business who has no clue, what is the transaction that's
happening? So there are methods in which the CIBIL also gives you a way to raise some issues with them, saying if you feel that it's reported incorrectly, where you notify CIBIL that this data is incorrectly reported by the lender. So in those kind of scenarios, what happens, the CIBIL in turn will recheck or verify that information with the lender. If what we claim is true, then that correction would be made.
Oh, again here it all boils down to the same fact that, boss, you have to access your report at least once in a month.
Correct.
To identify
and the
things.
core fact point there is, at the end of the day, that's your data. You need to be on top of it.
Absolutely.
Not rely on the banker or CIBIL to tell you or come back to you later. It's your information.
Correct.
So you need to make sure that it's accurate at most of the time, or engage professional services like Kenstone who can help you manage that in a very effective way.
Fantastic. Absolutely. I mean, as you rightly said, it's not the bank's data. It's neither the bank's data. It's nor the CIBIL's data.
It's your
my data.
Exactly.
It's the business's data. And it all, I think we should be, wary of the fact that all these misreporting can happen.
Correct.
Or anything can go wrong. So it's good to be preventive.
Yes.
Than, suffer the consequences of, not accessing the report at all, or not being aware of the existence of it all.
Exactly.
I mean, I think there can be clients who would have reached out to you after rejections, not being aware at all.
Most of the cases are like that. Where they only realize that there is something like this after the loan gets rejected.
Amazing.
But again, what happens is this entire exercise, it's a time-consuming exercise of getting things corrected on CIBIL.
What are the typical timelines?
Typical timelines is like 30 days, and it can go up to 60 or 90 days also on case-to-case basis.
90 days?
Yes, in few scenarios.
The business.
Exactly. So that's why it's so important for you to be proactively monitoring this information rather than react to the scenario when your loan is rejected.
Oh my God. At least from an individual perspective, I can understand.
Correct.
If it might be a personal loan or a housing loan.
Correct.
Value will also be small.
Yes.
And stakes will also be
very true.
Limited.
Yes.
Here the stakes are high.
Exactly.
Stakes are high.
So even one rejection of a credit facility will actually take the business in a spin. So it's so extremely critical that you maintain this information accurate.
And I'm thinking for a business which is not doing great at all, going through a lot of trouble is on one side. But if I put a business which is doing great but unable to access credit.
Exactly. And due to some technical errors
that can also happen, is it?
A lot. That's what I was trying to tell you. So there are a lot of technical errors that can happen on a CIBIL report, which could be contributing to your ranking, and you only realize it when you're applied for a loan. But
Oh my
in
God.
reality, you as a business might be doing extremely well. All your servicing of loans would be on time, but some small error is actually blocking you from getting access to credit. So these are the scenarios I think as a business owner you should be looking onto and keeping an eye on that.
Amazing. I think accounts team or their finance team.
Exactly. That's something that they should be doing.
They should be, really, mindful of this fact. And so, to our viewers, our businesses, what are the kinds of issues that can arise? I mean, in general, I'm saying we'll dive deep in. I mean, broad categories. I'm asking.
So broadly, see, there could be some issues where you have actually defaulted on few loans.
Okay.
Later on, you worked with the bank and you've resolved it, but that correction is not reported to the credit bureau. That is one major factor.
I'll just once again repeat. I've taken a loan.
Yes.
I've defaulted because of XYZ reasons. XYZ reasons, but I've defaulted is what you're saying.
Yes.
Or been delinquent.
Correct.
In your terminology.
Correct.
So, but later I've paid closed.
Correct. So
the same has not been reported.
Yes. Because during delinquency, a bank reported to credit bureau because it's a way of telling the other lenders that this loan is at risk. This borrower has not been repaying us on time.
So they are flagged.
So they flagged it. But post correction, or post when the borrower has actually reached out to the lender and resolved that particular loan, that reporting not happens in a lot of cases. So that's where there is a challenge in terms of affecting the ranking and things like that. So this is something that you as a business owner should be mindful of it and get it resolved.
But I'm thinking that I've paid and closed.
Exactly.
I've paid and closed.
Exactly. So that is one thing.
This is great. And how long, broadly speaking, how long it takes?
No, so you can go, normally the CIBIL team have a SLA of 30 days for any ticket or a dispute. They call it a dispute where you dispute certain aspect of the report. So if you raise a dispute, the SLA is of around 30 days.
Fantastic. 30 days.
Correct. 30 days to resolve.
And what are the other category of issues?
So other could be again technical errors where technical errors where there have been some wrong data sent by the bank. So these are the other aspects of it.
So wherein it's not the challenge of business.
Correct.
Business is doing great,
but some information
paying on time, everything is going great.
Correct.
Thinking that it's going great, but due to some technical issue, some random thing is getting reported to reports, which can hurt, is it?
Exactly. So that happens, and this can be again corrected, rectified. Again, if they have, they see their report, they'll be able to clearly identify the data that's not
what belongs to them and what doesn't belong to them.
And they have to report it to CIBIL saying these are information that do not belong to me. And once CIBIL do the verification of it, they get that corrected on the report.
And is there a guideline to access this mechanism in terms of telling CIBIL that this account does not belong to me?
They have a way to raise all these disputes and
these are called disputes. And we have to raise disputes.
We have to raise dispute. Actually, when you buy a report or when you purchase your CIBIL report, the last section of that report actually tells you how to raise a dispute.
Oh, there is a way section.
Of doing. Exactly.
So they have in detail, they have explained.
So clearly it's mentioned on how to do, and all those things are clearly mentioned there itself.
But somebody has to really sit on it, understand all the aspects, and draw the insights, and also go to CIBIL to fix all these issues.
So you have to communicate to them in a proper way, so that they understand it, make the necessary changes.
Communication with CIBIL also matters.
Exactly.
In order to communicate, I have to first understand. No.
So that's where I think it's important for you to first spend more time in understanding your credit report or engage people who can help you with that.